All right, looks like we're live here. Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Gemstone Legends. It has been a couple of weeks since my last video. I was on vacation for a week, so I'm now back, and just in time for the new heroes that have been introduced. So we've got 5 new heroes, and also a possibility to get one of the most popular heroes, which is Rogar. Alright, so Rogar was one of the heroes that was available from an event, and he has been a staple in pretty much all of my attacks against any fire enemy, and in fact against many different enemies as well. So Rogar is now available in the altar, so hopefully you pull him. I've done extensive reviews about him before, and so you can take a look at my previous videos. But what I want to do is I want to take a look at some of the new heroes that are here. Rapunzel, we're going to take a look at their skills. We're going to take a look at, what the damage is like and what situations you could use them. And we're going to try and talk about how you can gear these heroes. So we'll talk about abilities for them as well. So Rapunzel, and then we've got 4 new heroes. Jomar, these are all part of the Bone Breakers in Iron Clan's faction. So Jomar is the red one, and then we've got also Vikmar, green, and then Ozvig, and also Hackling. Now, I actually have all of these. I managed to pull all of these heroes. I will be able to show them in individual fights. I'm still in the process of leveling them. It is difficult to level up 5 new heroes all at once in a day, so I didn't get to do that. But we're going to go and take a look at all of them. We're going to gear them, and we'll sort of talk about what situations you could use them. So Don, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining me here. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's make sure we go through training here. All right, so we're gonna go and take a look at, I guess, 2 of the heroes here, and that is Hackling and Ozvig. So what I could do is I could show them individually as well. But let's take a look at Hackling first, and then we'll go through a fight. You can see here I'm just getting them to 5 stars now. I'm in the process of leveling them up, but I thought that this will be a realistic view into what the hero might be like as you go through them. So let's say you get Hackling, the purple version of Rogar's brothers, right, or the Bone Breakers. Let's take a look at the skills. Who could you use him with, and what is he going to be good for? These are questions I would like to try and answer as well. So this is going to be an AoE attacker, all right? So he will deal damage to all enemies. Because he deals damage to all enemies, the amount of percentage is going to be slightly lower than if it was a single unit attacker, all right? So he attacks all of the enemies, and he gains increased critical chance. So increased critical chance gives you 30% additional critical chance, and so it's actually kind of nice if you couldn't get the critical rate or critical chance to be at the level you need to be. This will allow you to get that boost that you need. And his passive ability will give him additional attack by 20%, and also a chance to increase his special ability to be used twice. Okay, so you can use it twice, 25% chance, and he gains additional critical damage if you have Soul Link. Okay, so this is a situation where you kind of want to have a different hero to support him, and I'm going to show you what I did to try and get that. So let's take a look. In terms of my focus, I just focus on giving him as much critical damage as I can. All right, so I'm using the critical rate gloves here, but I don't actually have to. Okay, so as I mentioned, one of the things that you could think about is if you can get your critical rate to about 55%, when you get the increased critical chance, you can get it up to 85%. 85% is the minimum that you need to be effective against enemies, assuming you're going up against a yellow enemy here. Okay, if you're going up against a neutral color, then you want it to be at 100%, and if you are against a purple enemy, you need to be at 115%. And so I'm right at 86% here. So what that means is, if I could actually, get a little bit more critical rate elsewhere, I could change this out to a critical damage glove instead. So I could do that. I could do that, but what I have now is I have 129% critical damage. I think it's okay. Ideally, you'll probably want to get a little bit higher, but if you take a look at his awakening, right? If you take a look at his awakening, if you can get it to 6 stars awaken, you will have additional 30% critical damage as well. And so I feel like this is actually okay for me. It's a good balance. With the increased critical rate, I should be able to get, you know, guaranteed hits against all enemy types. And then in terms of the focus here, the primary things I wanted to take a look at are mainly my attack percentage and then the mix of critical damage and critical chance, depending on what you sort of need, okay? And so you can see here, mostly if I can, I get attacks, critical rate, critical damage wherever I can. And I used a Guardian set here, not on purpose. It's just that these were sort of the ones I had remaining that still has 6 stars with attack as the primary status. Okay, so that's what I have. Let's go ahead and take a look now. Actually, before we do, let's take a look. Okay, so like if you start at level 1, you're 191%, then 235% at level max. And then the passive ability, this is the one that's actually really cool, where you start with, you know, 25% chance to use your special ability, but at max level, it's 30% chance to use this ability twice. Critical damage is also increased by 30% instead of 25%, and your attack is also increased by 25%. So overall, you will deal more damage, and you can do this twice if you can get Soul Link. And so who has Soul Link? There's 2 heroes that have that. One of them is going to be in the Forest Keepers, and this is going to be Poppy. So Poppy is actually a really good tank as well, and what's nice is she's also a purple hero, and her active ability gives you Soul Link to an ally and to an ally herself. Okay, so you can Soul Link with her and someone else. So that is an option. It's actually pretty good because it is a purple with purple, so then it's a good synergy there. All right. We got No Love Lost in the stream as well. Thanks for joining me here, just seeing the chat here, and Captain America. All right, so Poppy is a good choice, being a rare hero that actually is really good. I don't actually have her, unfortunately. I didn't keep her, and I didn't get a chance to pull her, so I'm not going to be able to show you with her. But another hero that you can use is going to be Nefre. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here. We're going to go ahead and do just that. And I guess what we can do is let's try here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take him out. We're gonna take out Thomas, and we're gonna put in Nefre here. And there she is. So Nefre is a legendary hero who does also grant Soul Link. So Soul Link is what gives you the ability to increase the attack, and also if you can get critical chance, then you will deal more damage. So I'm gonna show you 2 different. We're gonna show you two different attacks here. So first, we're going to show you with just Nefre. So Nefre is going to give you the Soul Link that you need, and hopefully we survive this. Actually, I'm going to try and take this off auto because let's see if we can get this. Unfortunately, I don't think I can. Yeah, I was kind of hoping I was going to be able to get the light in there, but the thing I want to do is I want to take out the damage dealers here. So let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3 here. So we can at least take her out. So that limits the amount of damage that's going to be dealt to my Hackling. And then we can survive. Hopefully we can survive. All right. And then we can use our, even if he dies, we can still have Nefre's ability, which actually will revive him. And so we don't actually get to revive here, but let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and take her out for now. I'm just trying to showcase the skill here. All right, and so now let's go ahead and use the skill on him. What's nice with Nefre is also dispels it, and then I have Soul Link, so there's a 25% chance that he will use the skill twice, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. And I also happen just, you know, take her out here, so I probably need to use a stronger one. But that's essentially the idea: is you want to have Soul Link, and this is why having Poppy is going to be good. And you can see here in my case here is just, you know, he is able to take out the enemy with about 3,000 or so attack. This is against a neutral enemy, and then against a yellow enemy it's going to be stronger. So we can actually go and try this against a different colored enemy as well. But I'm going to show you a different setup that you can also try to see how he works and how you can take advantage of this. All right. So again, what's nice with Nefray is that you do get the revive, right? And you get the revive and you get the soul link, and it's a good pairing. It's just that she is light, and so you're gonna have a little bit harder time. Like you kind of have to balance. You're gonna have to work a little bit harder to get your hero charged up. Right. In terms of damage, the gemstone damage is gonna be decent if you can get the attack value high. Okay. But again, because it's an AoE attacker, it's not going to give you the biggest damage. But what will be nice is if you can get sort of, that 2 double attack going. And probably the best place to do this is going to be in the Rift, where the enemies are a little bit stronger. But I'm going to show you another setup here. And let's do this here, actually. So let's do I guess we'll stay in Fawnleaf Woods. Instead of Nefray, what you can do now is you can put in Thomas. So Thomas is the other hero that I was looking at, and Thomas's ability grants critical chance, which is what you need for getting Hackling skill up. But he also does this at the beginning of the wave. Okay, so what you get here is he increases your speed, and he also grants you the increased critical chance. So what that means is Hackling is actually going to be boosted from the start. Okay, this is probably a bad place to be showing this, because these enemies are really fast, and I'm at 99. Okay, so I'll probably need to do this in a different setting where I need to bring in more heroes. I kind of wanted to show you one by one, but Thomas is a good option just because of his ability, but it's not really sort of the right setting to be doing this with 2 heroes. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out, and I'm going to come back with, let's do another one, right? Let's do it again. This time I'll bring in just some other faster heroes, just so I can sort of show you. All right, let's do this. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to use their ability. I brought in Sigil here, so I can also do her ability to increase mana. Okay, and then what do I really need? And Aurora or Daffodeth is going to be really good, because any heroes that can give you increased attack is going to make your hero deal that much more damage. So right now it's at 4,500, for example. All right, and it's just that the gem falls are kind of messy for me, so I couldn't actually get anybody to activate right now. All right, so let's do this, right? So let's go ahead and get this going. We should get Thomas, and we have Aurora's skill, so that's good. And now what we can do is we have everything, right? We have our increased speed, and we have increased attack, so this should take out the enemies pretty easily. So 5.9 against neutral enemies. It's actually not too bad, right? So if you wanted to use this against like a light rift, that's probably going to be okay. Not going to be good against the yellow rift though. What I meant is against Goliath or against Phoenix in the yellow stages, you might be okay, but that's not going to be the hero that you want to use against rift. And I'm not sure that this is going to be a hero that you want to use for raid boss either. Probably what you want to use this for is going to be in arena, where you can attack twice. In defense, you probably want to have Poppy with Hackling, and then you'll be able to, hopefully attack twice with the skills, and that's actually going to be pretty devastating to your opponents. Next, let's take a look at Ozvig. I'm going to do Rapunzel next, but I just kind of wanted to show you a couple of different heroes here. Ozvig is the yellow version of the attacker in the Bonebreakers faction or family. Also an AoE attacker. This one will deal damage to all enemies, but what's interesting is this guy's all about speed. Okay, so he does have a 100% chance to inflict mana choke on enemies for 3 turns. Mana choke is one of those things where it's not like the greatest thing, but it works well if you pair with Boar Jester and if you can go first, that'll be really good, because the idea is you want your enemies to not be able to get their mana charged up, and that's what he's here for. So he increases the speed whenever any enemies die, and he also does have increased attack if you have mana breath. So the whole thing here is, how do you get yourself going with a lot of mana, and how do you get yourself going by decreasing their mana? So let's take a look at one of the ways you can do this. So we're going to go back to Sacred Grove here. Actually, that's probably not a good place to show it because it's going to be too easy. So let's do here, and we're going to take this out, and the heroes that are going to be good for this, Mana Breath, there are other heroes, but one that I can think of right now is Dobrinka. Dobrinka does have Mana Breath as a skill. And I think, I can't remember who else. I'll have to look into it, but when I did my testing, it was using Dobrinka. Okay, so we got Dobrinka, and let's see, do I have Jasper in here? I'm using these heroes just to show you like what kind of what it would be like if you paired them. But that's not to say that you have to use exactly the same setup. I was just trying to show sort of what it's like when you sort of use these in conjunction, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding in Jasper as well, because Jasper has this ability to cause Boar Jester at the very beginning of the wave. Now, there are other heroes that do so as well, and you can actually go to my Discord server, you can search for them, you can see which ones they are, but let's go ahead and use these for now, and we will go Jasper, okay? And I will use Ozvig as the leader, because what he does is he's also going to increase the speed of all your yellow allies by 21, okay? And so let's say let's get going in here, right? So the first thing we're going to see here is we're going to get Boar Jester, although he doesn't have great accuracy. Let's see, what is accuracy? Actually, that's pretty good, 223. So 2 of them got hit, so that's okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just keep going, and then we're going to get them. So now what this guy has is Mana Choke and also Boar Jester. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and attack the other hero here. So you can see what happens with him. So right now he can only match twice, and if he did manage to match yellow gems, unless he's able to get at least 6 or 7 gem matches, he's not going to be able to charge up, and that's the idea here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give ourselves Mana Breath, and let's see, we're going to go ahead and target, well, I guess we'll target him, right? So we'll go ahead and use him, and then we will. So this also, decreases the, it also decreases, oh, that was a bad match there, but that's okay. So it decreases defense, so you can also deal more damage against them. Again, we're going to have Boar Jester on them, and let's do one more time. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and attack. I have Mana Breath right now, so I don't need to worry. I can go ahead and just show you first how much damage he can deal against these opponents. 1.6. So he's not actually going to be a huge damage dealer compared to Hackling. Okay, so compared to Hackling, he's not going to be a really good damage dealer. In fact, Jasper's damage is a little bit higher. But I think the idea here is this is a really good sort of crowd control type style. With the Dobrinka, you get you get immunity in the beginning, and Jasper gives them Boar Jester, so they can only match twice. And then you have Hackling, which is meant to be a really fast hero, and he's going to go and sort of give you Mana Choke so that you get less mana overall. So the way you want to play him is you want to play him a crowd, sort of a crowd control style. And what I didn't show you is what I focused on in terms of my artifacts. What I focused on is speed. So you can see I'm using my Swift set here. So wherever I can, I'm also trying to add more critical rate and critical damage, but where I can also try to add some speed. So I actually have a speed boot here, attack chest, well, I guess armor, and then for the gloves I also have critical rate here. So with any sort of attacker type heroes, whenever I see anyone, like whenever I can, I always try to get my critical rate to about 80, between 85 to 100 range, and then try to get my critical damage to above 100. So with him, this is a better crowd control player style than damage dealer style. So you're not going to use him to try and take down a big wave, but you're going to really impact their ability to do good damage, because they can't really match their gems effectively and get their mana charged up. Paired with Jasper, he's actually really good. So let's switch gears and let's talk about the new legendary, right? Which is Rapunzel, and then she's actually in the Slavs, right? So Rapunzel is the new one. I haven't leveled her to 6 stars yet. She is at level 44 right now. Again, I'm trying to get my heroes all leveled up, but with her you just want all health, right? Health. But she is an attacker type, so you want to balance health and attack as well. So you can see that my critical rate is at 83, my critical damage is a little bit low at 99, so there definitely is room for improvements there. But in terms of what I focus on, I'm focusing on health, right? So health boots, health armor, and then again critical rate for gloves. If this is not an attacker type, then generally you want to just do health and defense all the way through. But what I did do is I also was able to find a couple of life artifacts to give myself 15% for additional 15% for my health, and I could actually get a additional attack here if I could get another set here, which would have been the I forget the name of this set here, right? And so let's see, and if I have critical rate, I guess I do have critical rate here, and I technically could do this. I lose 400 health here, but I gain additional attack, and this one gives me more critical rate. Let's see, I actually gain more because I have this at 6 stars. Would I do this? So I'm losing. The thing is, I'm going to be losing is I will gain more by having more attack. I will gain more in terms of the gem match damage, but I'll lose a little bit with my active skill damage, right? And if you take a look at the set here, I think we'll go with this. So let's take a look at her in action. All right, so we can go Tenebrous, and then what I have here is we can actually go with a combination of Alrena. So let's do this. So we're going to go with, did my Alrena get she got put into storage because I needed some space. Give me 1 second, please. Alright, so Alrena is, where did she go? Oh, I know what I did. I was filtering. And I didn't need to do that. Okay, so let's go and clear all of these, and now let's go and do epic legendary. There you go. All right, so let's do Alrena, and I'll have her here, and then let's put in Rapunzel. So Rapunzel is actually a area damage dealer as well, and I'm gonna remove her. Let's go ahead and remove her for now, and then go back, and we will set this all up again. This is the sort of the flow I don't really like, where if I have someone in training, I want to just get rid of the person in training and not have to worry about it, but I have to sort of go back and redo everything again. So that's one thing I don't quite like, but here you go. And then we have Rapunzel here, and what's nice with Rapunzel is her leader ability increases speed of all your blue allies by 25, so all of them will go faster. So let's go ahead and do this. Quick warning though, her skill causes a really bright sort of light to shine, so I'm not going to do it too much, but I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of this. Oh my goodness, there's like no blue gems. There you go. So we're gonna withstand a few attacks and then do one more attack. And then I'll show you. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and use her attack first to take out this bat, then I'll show you what she does. So again, her ability will inflict color blindness, damage damage to all enemies, and what's nice is it also ignores 20% defense. So we're gonna go ahead and use the skill. And you see, like, that was a really bright shine, but that dealt about 5,000 damage. Now, this is an attack based on her health. So there is a limit to how much you can boost her attack by, because this is health limited. It's not limited by how much you can boost attack. So like, unlike attack or defense, there are other skills that really increase it. One of the things you could do is you could do something like this, right? I could add another one here, and I could add a hero that gives me blue health. So one is Freya, the other example is Torbjorn. Okay, so I can use her as leader. What she does is she will increase the health of all blue allies by 50%. So we can do that, and we can sort of now see how much more damage she's going to be able to deal. And so the thing with, like I said, the thing with health focused heroes is simply that it's a little bit harder to get as much out of it as attack based heroes. But I think that, you know, after playing with Rapunzel's abilities a little bit in, you know, after checking it out a little bit, I'm not sure that she is necessarily going to be your primary damage dealer. She does have pretty good gem match damage because she is, you know, she can match gems 4 times. But let's go ahead and show you now, okay? So with the additional health, because she's, you know, as a leader, she increases the health of all blue allies. So this should increase her damage. You can see it's now up to 6,000. But that's not the only way you need to play with Rapunzel, though. You can do this as well. I'm going to show you one other option you can have with Rapunzel. So with Rapunzel, what I went with is I went with health, because I wanted to use her her ability, which is, you know, a chance to basically dealing damage to all enemies based on 18% of her max HP. If you go to the max level, it's 22% of HP and ignores 30%. So you can do pretty well against them, against the waves. Another option you could technically go with is to go full attack mode, and that is, you know, you increase your attack, you sort of, you know, do a little bit of health, but you mostly just focus on her gemstone match abilities because she can match gems 4 times. So that's another option you can go with, although I don't really recommend that. I don't know that I would recommend that because you're sort of taking out you're taking out her role as somebody who is going to be dealing damage to the mob, right? If you take a look at her awakening abilities, also it's all about HP. You're going to gain an additional 40% health. In fact, if you get a 6-star awaken, you're going to get a total of 60% additional health. So you can see for her, it's really all about health. And so that's why I went with health, but you can choose to take advantage of her matching abilities. In terms of, like, you know, what you can do here, I think she's probably going to be better in like a guild war defense or arena defense, where you will have a Rapunzel that does the following, right? So Rapunzel will, you know, inflict color blindness. So that means everyone's going to be dealing weaker gemstone damage to you. You gain immunity, so then that's going to give her, you know, more survivability as well. And she has, you know, pretty good accuracy, and additional 60%. Actually, if you start the wave, she gets an additional 75% accuracy just by having 5 enemies in the beginning, right? So she's actually going to be able to land her skill pretty easily. Again, not going to be a hero that you use against raid boss, but I don't know, like, let's see, what would I do here, right? So if I were to use her in Phoenix Rift, okay, and I go P20, so this is actually a setup that I had tried using, so we can go ahead and do this, right? So we can use, where does she go? So Rapunzel, so Rogar you've seen before. This is another option here. I actually really like this, but what you can do is you can give leader bonus to Rapunzel so they all go faster. Then let's take a look and see what happens here, right? So she's not going to be quite strong enough to take out the wave, as you will see. We're going to just wait for them to hopefully get some blue gem match, which they won't. But we're gonna go ahead and do this in the next round. Okay, so let's see. You can see her her gemstone match damage is not that great because her attack value is pretty low as a mage attacker. But we're gonna go ahead and wait until the next round. Okay, so now let's take a look and see how much damage she can do. So 4,000. You can see with her health. Can't quite clear the wave either, and so this is sort of like, for me, sort of like, yes, she's only at 5-star, she's not quite at her max health just yet, but she probably will be able to just barely get get the enough damage to clear the waves for P20, and there are probably other better heroes you can use in terms of the blue heroes, but this actually I think is a decent setup because I'm using 4 blue heroes. Having somebody that gives mana breath is going to counterbalance the decreased mana gain you get. So this is a setup I chose to go with, and it's actually not too bad. I think in terms of speed, this is a little bit slower than my fastest team. So let's take a look. I also slowed down a little bit because I was using manual, but let's take a look and see how much time this took. It's probably going to be like a minute and a half or so in terms of the time. Probably closer to 2 minutes. And you notice here, I'm not actually worried about using Nika in this case, because with Dobrinka and with Streetblock, you actually get a lot of positive stats, so you end up not taking as much burn status anyway. And we should be able to take out the Phoenix after this hit. So my thinking about Rapunzel is that, again, this is kind of an interesting one where it's not, she's not quite strong enough yet as a a wave clearer. You could try and build her as a single attacker because, like, right now her attack is really low, so she can't quite deal enough damage to a single unit. She doesn't quite deal enough damage to a group of units. So then it comes down to color blindness. So how strong is color blindness? Personally, I don't know that color blindness is the one that that would be my go-to debuff for I don't know. It's not my go-to, right? So I got her. I was really excited about it, and I was looking at the skills. I was like, okay, you can get color blindness, you can deal damage to all enemies, and you can ignore 20% defense. Sounds awesome. But then, you're probably not going to find this as effective against, like, rifts. As you saw here, she doesn't quite take out the enemies much. Okay, but the only thing is, if you can land color blindness, then that does decrease the chances that your heroes get taken out by people matching gems. So again, this is more of an arena and more of a guild wars type setup rather than using against raid boss and against rift themselves. And with high health, she is going to survive better. So she's more like, she's an attacker, but I don't know, like, would I use her in my attack team? Maybe if I am worried about the gem matches, like Maharo's on the team or something, and I'm worried about the amount of damage that I can take from the people matching gems, like that is one place where I can see that probably being useful. But in general, I kind of not sure if I just haven't found a great spot for her just yet. So I have her still leveling up, but I would say probably not as... I'm having a harder time finding the right fit. Now, there is a hero I am pretty excited for, though, and let's see. Let's go to Corrupted Skyron, actually. Let's do this one. So here's Vikmar. So Vikmar I'm actually pretty excited about, because what he does is he has this whole, like, setup where he just keeps inflicting poison. All right, so he inflicts poison on multiple enemies, and 100% for one, 75% for another. He has an like, he can possibly land 5 poisons on a single enemy, and he deals damage to him. And then for every poison status that affects him, he deals even more damage. Okay, so he has good potential here if you're going up against single enemies. Could be good for Moonforest Sisters. We're gonna try this out, and what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna show you this setup right now. So this is my setup that I tried. So we're gonna test this out just to see, all right? And I'm going to be manually fighting here. I don't like doing auto fights against bosses, but I wanted to show you sort of how this could work out. I brought Zarkon in here because Zarkon is basically going to be like the perfect, perfect partner here. Except I don't have any green, any purple gems, and so this is going to be a little bit difficult. And I don't have any purple gems at all. So let's go ahead and do an attack. So Koharu I showed is sort of like, made to be a hero against the blue boss, but I kind of wanted to see how this hero would do, Vikmar, how it would do against the boss here. So let's go ahead and land. Now what's unfortunate here is he has a 50% chance to land decreased defense. Didn't land this time, so we're not going to get as much damage, but let's take a look and see how much we can deal. So 9.85. I was able to get more before. I think I saw about 14, but you can see it's not quite as impressive, right? It's not like super impressive there, but let's try this one more time and see what we can do. I want to see if I can land decreased. I think it's because I had decreased defense. That's why I was able to see more damage. So let's take a look and see. Goodness, this is just like really not good gem drops for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. And 1. That should be good. 2, 3. And we should be able to survive this. Yep. Except I got hit with decreased attack, so that sucks. But I think we can do this, right? So let's take a look here and let's just try and do some damage here and see if we can land any. So we do land, but you can see even with decreased attack, we were able to land 13,000. So of course it's going to be more if we can get more. And so I chose to use Zarkon here. I thought that he's actually a really good partner. This will work pretty well, I think, also against the Yellow Sisters, because you're getting all of this poison in there. So you're going to be able to deal more damage as well. So he could be good, I think, in the Yellow Sisters and also against the Moon Forest. So we're gonna check out Moon Forest next, and let's see how he does there. Okay, so now what we have is we've got 1, 2, 3. All right, let's try this one more time. And I think I'm going to go ahead and activate her as well so we can maximize our damage potential. Let's go ahead and I was hoping I was going to be able to land more poison. So let's try to do an attack again. So now we went up to 17,000. So I think I could probably get it closer to 20,000 if I have this at max poison. And he's at 5 stars right now. If I get him up to 6 stars max level, he could probably deal pretty significant damage like Koharu as well. And all this added poison is also going to help deal damage to the boss as well. So I think it could be useful in that case. But let's try him in Moonforest Sisters and see how he's going to be affected there. Now, Zarkon is used a lot in Arena, and so Vikmar feels like a good sort of partner there because he deals more damage whenever there's poison. All right, so let's go to the moon, the Moon Forest Sisters. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to take out Rogar. We're going to take out him. We're going to put in Zarkon here. And we're going to put in Vikmar right here. And I forget, what is this? I think he's this accuracy. So we're going to go with speed here. All right. And so let's go ahead and try this and see what happens here. So Zarkon is going to be landing poison to everyone, and we're going to see how much damage we can deal against the Moon Forest Sisters. I don't think we have the yellow sisters for Rift right now, but again, like I said, this could be a possible option as well. Okay, so let's see here. I don't have any heroes here that give me increased attack, so he isn't right now. He's not dealing as much damage as he could, and in fact, I don't think that I need Sophia here, because Sophia was really here to do defense down, but I don't really need her here. I could actually just depend on Zarkon here, and I could actually use a hero that gives me plus attack, and I think that would work better. So let's go and see. Now this is not going to be the ideal setup, because it's not going to be as fast as my other setup here. I just wanted to sort of see how much damage we can deal. So let's take a look and see. So 7.4, just barely not enough. Again, without the additional increased attack, it's just a little bit weaker than it needs to in this situation. All right, so what do I think about Vikmar? I was actually really excited about Vikmar because I saw the potential for you to use, you know, any poison related heroes to really sort of, you know, to really boost his attack here. He might actually die here, unfortunately, because of her skill. Like, yeah, he's gonna die here, which is unfortunate. He's just not tanky enough. The way I have built him, he's just simply not tanky enough. And the Moon Forest Sisters, they deal a ton of damage there, so that's gonna be unfortunate. Let's see if we can just kind of finish off this round here. And this is why Rogar is really useful, because he can deal a ton of damage whenever there's defense down against your opponent. But all of these stacks of burn and poison is going to take him down this next round anyway. So like I said, this also is very helpful whenever you're up against these Rift bosses. So I got two big dust. So now let's take a look at his artifacts. So what did I focus on? Mostly attack, right? I didn't actually focus on his accuracy as much, because I feel like if you focus a ton on his accuracy, you're going to end up losing out on his attack damage. Right? His damage is going to be suffer if you put too much in accuracy. So like you're probably going to need to put in an armor here for accuracy to really to really make it count. But I decided to go with attack, critical damage, just to get myself more damage. But what you can do is you can use a set like Cursed Set to give yourself additional 30% accuracy, just so that you can you know, you don't sacrifice too much of your substats by using your sets, right? So using your sets, and also I used a Hawkeye set here to give myself 15% critical rate. So these are the things I do to kind of help me out a little bit. But overall, if you take a look at what I have here, 233 speed, not really focused on speed here. Again, critical rate, try to get above 85%. Critical damage, over 100%, 153, that's perfect. And I don't have enough books right now to increase my skills, but you can see here, right, level 1, between level 1 and level 10, there's no difference in the chances of landing except for the bottom three. So from 40, 20 to 10, it goes to 45, 25, and 15. And then you get, you know, about 50% more attack. So you're going to have chances to get more poison. But at 50%, it's not as high. So at best, you probably, in general, you probably expect to see 2 to 3 poison added, which actually works out well if you can maximize his passive ability, so you can deal 10% more. So let's say you get 3 stacks of poison, that's 30% more damage. And if any ally dies, then you also poison them as well. So with Zarkon on the team, you get negative, you get defense down. And let's say you're able to fill up with all poison. So that's 9 stacks. On level 6, you're going to get 90% more damage against the opponent with defense down, which could be very significant. So I think that right now I'm just building him up. I'm actually more excited about Vikmar right now because I think that he could become a really good, powerful hero. It's just that he is super weak right now. You can see his health is only at 16,000 right now. So the problem is he dies easily. So you need to protect him somehow. I think for me, it's just I just don't have good enough. I just don't have good enough artifacts that give me health substats. Right, because I have basically no substats for health. Otherwise, his health should be at closer to 20,000 right here. It's only at 16,000, so it is going to be a little bit harder to keep him alive. But if you can pair him with heroes that deal a lot of poison, he's going to be really great. Another sort of heroes that do this, I think, is going to be these heroes here. Chun, I think, is Chun bleed or... It's bleed. So these are all bleed, I think. I'm trying to remember which one's poison. That's Boar Jester. Okay, so you can also use May, a Shaft, for example, with Vikmar. Any heroes that deal poison is going to be helpful. All right, last one on the list. And I will be honest, I didn't actually level him up too much, and I don't actually know how he plays. Jomar is the last one on the list, and to me, I don't know that I like him being a hero that does provoke. He's not someone that has a ton of he's not gonna have a ton of health and defense, and so he's just gonna get attacked more. He'll gain increased critical damage if he's damaged by someone who has provoke on it. So that means he's going to gain more damage. But there's better ways for you to get more damage, get critical damage by having another hero that grants that, as opposed to requiring him to, provoke others to be attacked. In my opinion, he's probably the weakest one of the bunch. I didn't actually play him, so I'm probably not going to do it because it's going to take me a long time to set this up on stream. But if I had to set up his, gears, the thing you're going to have to think about is like, do you really care about the provoke? If you care about the provoke, then you need to worry about accuracy. And like I said, if you really need to worry about accuracy, then you're going to be sacrificing your attack. And so you could choose to do something like, increased accuracy, which is going to be on your armor. Right, and so let's say, just randomly choose something here, and then the rest, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look for attack, right? So you're going to want to look for attack for your boots, and you can pick something. I'm probably not going to put too many on it because it's going to cost me to take them off afterwards, but what I would probably do is I would probably try and find a set like this, Crusher set, so I can get additional critical damage, and then probably put a critical rate glove on him afterwards. Like, that's typically my strategy, is I put critical rate glove on, and then I focus on the critical damage. Alternatively, if you can get a lot of critical rate from substats, then get yourself a critical damage glove. You're going to get a lot of big boosts there. Another thing you can take a look at also is look at his awakening path. So he is all about attack. You can see, right? Like, it's not really about the accuracy. So don't sacrifice your attack by trying to put more accuracy on him. Focus on him as if he's just a damage dealer, right? Just focus on, getting himself as much attack as possible. This one, I would say, just play him like as if he is just play him as straight up as a damage dealer. Don't worry about his accuracy. I really don't think that it is necessary. You're going to deal 30% more damage about whenever the hero's above 85%. And so if you think about it from that perspective, I think that you're going to get better value out of him than trying to squeeze this accuracy into this hero, which is going to reduce his effectiveness. So I will be honest, I didn't really think he was that great as when I thought about it, but as I'm talking about this now, like, okay, if I were to build him as a pure attacker, just like Rogar, then maybe Jomar is going to be the red version of Rogar, except he doesn't have a lot of the immunities and whatnot, but he could potentially, be really strong as well. So I will try this out. I'll build him up, and then I will give an update afterwards. But in my opinion right now, Jomar, don't worry about accuracy. I think you're going to be better off that way. So having said all that, I sort of showed what I could here. What I think about the heroes here, I think these new Bone Breakers heroes are all really great. They play different roles. Rogar is going to be, like, right now my primary, damage dealer. Vikmar with poison can be really devastating, I think. And Hackling and Ozvig as the as the area damage dealers. I think Hackling is more going to be an issue as like an actual, like, somebody that actually deals more attack. If you can pair him up with somebody that gives, critical chance, he does give himself. So I think that, Poppy is going to be a good partner for him, because you need Soul Link. Soul Link is going to help him survive better. He's going to deal double damage. He could be really devastating in arena type defense or attacks. Ozvig is more crowd control, and then Jomar is going to be pure attacker. That's how I sort of see it, so that's how you should build him as well. And then in terms of the new legendary Rapunzel, I have mixed feelings about her right now, just because I don't know where I would see her being effective other than potentially in defense. But if you have other ideas, if you think there's other uses where I am completely missing the point on, please let me know. Love to learn more about it. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you're using her, and I would try it out, and I'll make a video about it when I can. All right, so it's been a long stream, 50 minutes about this. Hopefully this helps you understand a little bit better about the heroes, how to build them if you do get them, and whether or not you actually want to go after these heroes, because, whenever you try to go after a legendary hero, it is always going to be potentially costly in terms of the scrolls, right? So this is something that I think, personally, Rapunzel is, in my opinion right now, not like a must-have. Like, it's not a huge difference maker like Akuma has been, like Kid Yoko has been, right? I don't know that Rapunzel has been a difference maker yet, but I think that all of these new epic heroes, though, they are all great. And if you can get multiple copies of Rogar, it's going to be so great against red bosses, just because he is going to be completely immune to burn, bleed, and poison. And so this is going to be perfect for him, because he's going to deal more damage. He's going to be immune to all of his abilities. And so you're going to have a much easier time getting tons and tons of damage against the boss if you can get multiple copies of Rogar. I don't actually have multiple copies of it right now. I just have the one, and I'm very happy with him. So I would say he is the best of the bunch for me. I think he's still the best one. Jomar could come close to second. It would be I think it's a tie between Vikmar and Jomar for me. And then I think Hackling is number 4. And then Ozvig for me is the 5th in terms of, my ranking for these heroes. So let me know what you think. Let me know what whether you agree with it or not. What's your ranking for these heroes, and what do you think, whether they are difference makers or not?